We often operate on a collective assumption that modern marriage follows a predictable, traditional script. It's a sanitized view of the world, where relationships are functional, monogamous, and stable. For most of us, it is easier to look away from uncomfortable deviations, maintaining the belief that the standard model is the only one in operation. But the clinical reality suggests that what we see is only the surface. Beneath that public image lies a massive hidden layer of behaviors and crises that rarely make it into the public conversation. In the most severe cases, therapists are seeing a rise in extreme domestic taboos, including instances where children as young as 9 become pregnant within their own family units. Other hidden segments involve established couples who actively seek out professional intermediaries to help them navigate the world of wife swapping and threesomes safely. But the most common reality in this hidden space is much quieter. It's the millions of marriages where physical intimacy has simply ceased to exist. Ignoring these complexities doesn't stop them from occurring. It only leaves the individuals involved to navigate their isolation without any support or guidance. While extreme taboos get the headlines, the most frequent clinical complaint is the complete absence of physical connection between partners. Practitioners use milestones to measure relationship health. When physical touch disappears for 21 days, it signals romantic bonding is replaced by a platonic routine. If that gap reaches 6 months, the expectation of intimacy is lost entirely, making a return to physical connection significantly more difficult. We tend to dismiss this as a natural byproduct of aging or a busy lifestyle, but the underlying causes are often much more specific and unaddressed. These shifts can stem from buried trauma, medical issues that go unmentioned, or a partner moving toward a spiritual or religious path that views physical desire as a distraction. There are also systemic pressures, like individuals who were pushed into heterosexual marriages by their families, while secretly identifying as bisexual or asexual. In these cases, the lack of intimacy is the end result of a relationship built on a foundation of suppressed truths and missing communication. When couples feel they cannot speak about these needs, they are forced to find ways to cope with the emotional distance. The desperation often starts small, a partner who no longer asks for sex, but simply hopes for a hug or to sit in the same room, only to find those basic needs rejected as well. This sustained rejection often pushes people toward hidden behaviors. These are frequently designed as a way to find a physical outlet while keeping the social and financial structure of the family intact. For many, this means turning to transactional or isolated options, using adult toys, visiting spas, or seeking out paid physical encounters. Some enter the swinger culture because they feel it is the only way to meet their needs without the risk of a messy affair or the total dissolution of their marriage. These actions are often less about a search for novelty and more about a survival strategy for people trying to fulfill basic human needs within a rigid social framework. This lack of communication eventually affects more than just the couple. The strain of a hidden crisis inevitably ripples out into the wider family. Clinical data shows that nearly 40% of people seeking help for a couple's intimacy issues aren't actually the partners themselves. This demographic is comprised of concerned fathers, mothers-in-law, and even the children of the struggling couple. It is a sign of deep household distress when children feel they must pay a professional to address the silence between their parents. Prioritizing the image of a traditional commitment over the reality of the people within it often leads to a cycle of distress that impacts multiple generations. To change this, premarital culture needs to shift. We must encourage the younger generation to have specific, unashamed conversations about physical expectations and boundaries before they commit to a lifelong partnership. Protecting a marriage from these hidden pressures doesn't require testing every scenario in advance. It requires the honesty to discuss compatibility and personal needs long before the wedding day.